Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about how to formulate a clear and executable AI, ML, and data solution requirement to your tech team without deep technology. Everyone can do it. You probably see this cartoon demonstration about software development before. The final product looks nothing like what we expected. When it comes to communicate your vision for data or AI solution, the same thing happens. Let's say you work in a daily operation, like e-commerce or logistic. You face a big challenge or have a great idea about how a new data or AI tool could improve your workflow or decision-making. You get approved by your manager and you granted a budget. You formulate an official requirement and reach out to your IT department. However, after 3 months, the end result completely different from what you imagined. Sounds familiar? Want to solve it? Don't worry. In this video, I will walk you through few key reasons why this happens. My name is Celine Xu. I'm working as an AI and data strategist in a huge international company now. With more than 10 years hands-on experience in machine learning and AI, I helped many organizations build and refine their AI and ML solutions successfully. I was a strategic consultant long before I became a data scientist. With a deep knowledge and diverse experience from both business and engineering side, one of my missions is bring closer business and tech teams and leverage AI and data for human-centric decision-making to generate better results. I'm breaking today's video into 2 parts. In the first part, I will demonstrate the 4 key reasons with real industry examples about why mismatching between the final solution and expectation. In the second part, I will provide you a 5-step framework, help you refine your thinking about any AI or data business case to formulate a clear requirement to your tech team and minimize the gap between the product and expectation. Let's dive in. Why does this happen and why does it keep happening? Key reason 1. You are not clear about the core problem you are solving. More often, you have a sense of frustration. You jump straight into requiring the solution before truly scoping and understand the issue. And you are not able to distinguish between must-have functions and nice-to-have capabilities. You must feel a little bit defensive right now. But bear with me. Let me tell you a quick story. And I promise, you will see how often this happens. Let's imagine you are a customer experience researcher in an e-commerce department. You are struggling with a SharePoint. It's your main material portal, but finding relevant documents, information, or purchase the report feels like a needle in a haystack. In your current understanding, the system only lets you search using keywords in the title. But you want more. You wish the search engine could retrieve the document even if the keyword aren't in the title but in the content, sort the result by recency and relevancy. You want to summarize the content and show which source it came from to showing the credibility. And last, even allow the search across audio file, not just the text. Sounds reasonable, right? Now, a week ago, someone introduced you a new AI-powered platform, a knowledge repository. It offers smart, role-based search, AI summarize, content ranking, and even team collaboration, comments, or co-editing function. Sounds like a dream. You're sold. You think, this is exactly what I want. But wait, what was the real problem again? Let's pause. Go back to original problem. Let me ask you a few clarifying questions. Do you want to migrate all your existing material from your SharePoint to another new platform? How do you think how much effort it will take? What exactly the main struggle you experiencing about current search engine? Is that accuracy, non-searchable, ranking, speeding, or summarizing? Which format do you have the most of your material? Is that PDF, Word, web page, import point, or audience file? Are you optimizing for individual search activity, or do you want to improve the team collaboration? Now you might realize maybe you weren't clear about the problem after all. So sometimes you need to ask the deep question to really clarify and define the problem before jumping into the solution. Because the most expensive solution is you solve the wrong problem. And only when you know what you really need, you could articulate it better to your team or your tech partners. As Einstein once said, if I had an hour to solve a problem, I would spend 59 minutes think about the problem and 1 minute think about the solution. The second key reason, vague business language. Using vague, abstract language like value, efficiency, or optimization without defining any measurable metric or any priority among each metrics is a problem. Maybe you don't even realize that. People often assume that the communication gap between business and tech is due to the conflict of the priority or terminology difference. But more often, it's more simple. It's just that the description just aren't clear enough for anyone. Let's go back to our search example. If I ask you, what do you mean by high relevance in search result in your expectation? How would you answer? Do you want to have better keyword match in the title or in the content? Or do you want to get more information about where the document is belonged to? So if this belongs to your department, which is e-commerce or UX design, whether or not you will feel like it has more relevant than the other. Or you want to know the date of the publish or creation date of the report. The recency matters. Or you want to evaluate the source credibility. You want to know whether or not this report is from famous research organization or it's just internal right by your colleague. If you can't clearly explain what you mean by relevance, how can you expect your tech team or AI system to deliver it? You shouldn't depend on your tech team or AI make decision for you. You are the expert in your business domain. You know better when making decision, right? So you need to teach your tech team or AI solution how decisions are currently being made. Explain what information you're considering, where you're facing the challenge, and what information might be missing. Then share how current evaluation metrics work and why they are set up in that way. Use simple language like you're explaining to a 5th degree young children. It doesn't need to be perfect. You don't have to know everything, but you can't assume your team and AI knows more than you did. Share what you know, collaborate with tech team, and co-create with solution, then test it in the real world. Gather feedback and keep improving it. So be specific, be clear about the definition and the metrics. Key reason 3, you lose the focus and overestimate the scalability or reusability of a certain solution. Sometimes, to increase the perceived value of a specific use case, we claim that a single solution can solve multiple problems. You can apply it everywhere without deeper thinking or consideration. More often, what happens is you end up not being able to use this solution anywhere effectively. For example, you might see the opportunity across the entire supply chain while demand forecasting could improve the efficiency and reduce cost. And you worry about if you only focus on a specific team or use case, the organization might not see the big enough impact. So you aim to build a reusable prediction model, one that you can support the assortment planning team, the warehouse team to optimize the distribution and data stock, and also the store team for store replenishment activities. But here is the catch. Do you really think you can use the same model outputs for all 3 scenarios? Let's dig deeper. For planning, the company usually looking ahead a whole season. let's see 3 months. To support this, you often need to forecast 3 to 6 months before the season even begins. The relevant data you can use normally are historical sales data. But due to a certain portion of new products that never sell before, it is not effectively to predict demand at every product level. Instead, forecast at the subcategory level, or say the product group level, or similar product level, to compensate this missing data is more reasonable. In addition, since it's about planning, you care more about the total sales number over a product's whole lifetime instead of a single day, which means you probably will not assign a single prediction for each sales day. Instead, you only want to have a whole number at once. But for warehouse optimization, the one prediction for 3 months will not work. You need to think about the in-season fluctuation in storage. You will need at least a weekly prediction to support logistic planning. And more variables are introduced in that scenario. It's important to know the capacity, the location, and the cost distribution of your warehouse, and to understand what KPI you are trying to optimize for the warehouse. It is useless to have prediction on product or product group level, because here you need to dealing with the package. And then the prediction should be on the order or batch level. Then let me move to the store replenishment case. Now, you need more recent data, like yesterday's sales or even real-time stock level. At this point, per product level data is not granular enough to support the replenish. Think about you have different size, colors, flavors of the same product, but you need the different quantity for each. Then use the unique product code or SKU level information. It's more critical. Time-wise, you need to predict each item per day because it's about replenishment. In this case, last month's or last season's record might not be that relevant. Instead, you really need a real-time sales data record to help you regenerate the prediction daily or hourly. Not like planning. The calendar events, the weather, the economic news may give better indication to a specific short-term forecasting. After all, each use case requires different training data inputs, different level of granularity, affected by different variables, and with different priority. So, is that really reasonable to still expect one single solution to serve all those needs? Think again. When you try to build a genetic model, you can use 𝗵𝗿𝗯𝗯. You often end up with something that usable know well. So, be focused. The fourth key reason, you're not clear about how the output or the solution you will actually use in the daily process. Too often, we ask for an AI solution, a BI dashboard, or a new data product. We start from a high-level vision. We believe it will be useful, it will generate value, because we will have more information, but we don't take the time to think deeper how we or our colleague will use the new information into the actual workflow, and how those new information will contribute to the better decision, good result, or the changing behaviors. Let's say you work at a fashion company and you see the Google has released its latest Google Trends report. Your instinct tells you this could be really valuable for the business. So you want to acquire the data, but do you ever think who will ever use this data? How and why they will use it? In what circumstance? Which decision those information will be used for? People will really change their behavior and decision based on this new required information. If we do need the information, how much improvement could we realistically expect from those? Do we have actually enough time to act based on the new insights we acquire? Do we need to think about the integration challenge between the new data with the internal data source? Do we have the same product definition? How we could connect the trends report to our existing customer segmentation or the product type we defined internally. Let's move to BI example. Maybe you are planning to build a dashboard to monitoring product development delivery, and sounds useful, right? But before you jump in, ask yourself, who are the users? Is that leadership? Is that product managers? Or is the engineer in the team? How many people will use it and how often? Is that for the leadership monthly review or is that for the product manager's daily operation? Will the KPIs in the dashboard really useful for the user make the decision? If the KPIs are just showing the speed or quality of the delivery for monitoring, or the product manager can actually find more deeper information and indication showing why things happened and how could improve. What format of the data user prefer? A single number, a range of number, a comparison, or just an alert when some error happened? Think about how people will interact with the solution. Will the new information just support the decision or may confuse the decision maker? If you're showing 10 plus KPIs with conflict trends, how are the people supposed to decide what behavior change those KPI will drive? Now, if this is an AI solution, go even deeper. Ask a question like, who will benefit from the tool and who might not? Which task can be replaced by this AI tool and which still need human input? Will the user need to learn a new system or adopt a new way of working? Will standard operation procedure changed? How does this tool actually help achieve the business target in operational and measurable way? Do we need to actually reconstruct existing role or reassign the responsibility? Do we need to train or upscale the teams? What are the complexity and uncertainty this new solution will introduce to the operation? You do not need to know everything, but those questions need to be asked and considered before making a solution request. Because without a clear on a real-life usage, even the most advanced tool can end up underused, misunderstood, and ignored. You may choose not to make the request at the first place. The takeaway: when you place a product requirement, you need to have a sense of, first, who will use the outputs or the solution. Second, how they use it to achieve the expected goal in the operational way. Third, what operational change it will request or initiate. Last, what aspect need to be considered to guarantee the future adoption. To help we easily remember what information we need to provide or communicate in a product requirement, we can use this simple acronym. 𝗵𝗵𝗀𝗯. U for user. Who are the target user groups? P for problem and purpose. What's the core problem and what are you trying to achieve? O, outputs. The detail level of output are needed. At what level? How often? Granularity. M for meaning and metrics. How do you define abstract concept or evaluation metrics? What's the most important one? The only one. Last, C represent context. What are the key inputs? And how will you use the result actually in the future workflow? If you can clearly communicate those 5 key elements to your tech team, you will dramatically increase the chance of getting the solution that meets your expectation and build a much stronger, more collaborative partnership with your tech execution team. It's important to know what you bring to the table and understand what your tech team are able to contribute, and be clear about what you already know, what you don't know, and what your tech team need to know from you to success. I've created a free download checklist and the summary of this 𝗵𝗀𝗯𝗖 framework. You can find the link below for download and kickstart a better conversation with your tech team. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.